I just found this knob, this window crank in that box there. And there's a funny story behind this. When my niece Emily was very small, when she was like 2 and 3, 4 years old, I had a 1984 Chev Impala. And this is actually the window crank from the driver's door. And what was going on with it is I was having trouble with the door latches and things for some reason on that door. Of course, I'm having trouble with the one on that truck too, because the guy jerry-rigged it, but it wasn't jerry-rigged. It was just there were some issues with it, and I was having troubles with it at the time. So I took the inner door panel, the inner door panel off. You know, the thing with the armrest and the covering over the metal and stuff, so that I could easily get in there to make adjustments to the latch mechanism whenever I needed to tighten it up, or to reattach a rod that had come off it, or whatever, you know, a rod that would connect it to the door handle or whatever, because I was having troubles like that. Anyway, of course, it necessitated removing the window crank in order to get that door panel off. And rather than put the window crank back on, I just used to keep the window crank on the seat beside me. And if I wanted to put the window down, I'd just push it onto the shaft and crank the window down and then take it off and put it back, you know, beside me on the seat. Anyway, I was taking my sister and my niece somewhere in the car on the highway, and my niece had brought this plastic rake with her, like a kid's toy rake, you know. And she kept poking me in the back of the head with the rake as we were driving. She was sitting in the back seat, and she kept poking me in the back of the head, and that's not a safe thing, you know. So I kept saying to her, Emily, don't do that. You could cause a car accident, you know. You could poke me in the head at the wrong time and distract me, and I could end up putting the car across the line and hitting somebody head on or something. I said, don't do that. And she kept doing it anyway. She thought it was funny. And then I started threatening her. I told her, if you keep doing that, I'm going to take that thing away from you, and I'm going to throw it out the window, and you won't see it again. Well, she didn't really take me too seriously anyway, so she gave me another poke in the back of the head with it. I picked up the crank off the seat, and I said, I'm putting the crank on. I'm putting the crank on. You better stop what you're doing, because I'm putting the crank on. This is serious. I'm serious about it now. I'm putting the crank on. I'm going to put the window down, and that thing's going out. Anyway, she stopped then. She believed me then when I put the window crank back on the door. So, quite a thing, though, you know. That must be quite a memory for her if she does remember it, you know. Uncle Tom yelling at her and saying, I'm putting the crank on. You know, putting the crank back on. You know, you're driving kind of a rough old car when you're threatening your niece you're going to put the window crank back on so you can throw her toy out the window. You know. Anyway, I also found these little padlocks, which are kind of neat. I forgot I had these. Little tiny key and stuff here. I don't think they'd be much of a deterrent to a thief, but they're kind of neat. Here, let me get the key out of it here. I'll show you the key. There we go. Look at the tiny little key. Tiny little key. Oh, there it is. Yeah, little padlock there. I'll put the key back in it here. So here we just turn the key. I'm trying to hold the camera while I do this, so it's not that easy. But there it is open. There it is opened up anyway. Kind of neat. But yeah, anyway. And there's a couple of smaller ones. Yeah, it's a couple of smaller ones there. Anyway, that's a radio knob from an old Oldsmobile I had. It's just random in there, I don't know. I got lots of parts of old cars. I could probably build a whole car with what I have in this shed here. Anyway, I'm going to keep pulling stuff down. Those are oil lamps up there, so I have to be careful with them. But I got to pull those down. And then I got to pull that box, and then this shelf, and I can pull the TV out. I'm going to put the TV I'm not going to put the TV back. I'm going to take it with me so I can dispose of it. But yeah, anyway, that's it. We'll talk to you all later, I guess.